What's up, world? I'm Cameron McKinney, and this is Pop Culture Spotlight, a podcast about the movie Fuze. Here's a quick synopsis. A bomb squad led by Major Will Tranter are brought in to defuse what they believe to be a bomb from World War II, when in reality, it's a distraction for a bank heist. The film stars Aaron Taylor Johnson, Theo James, Gugu Mbatha-Raw, Sam Worthington, L.M. Ahas, and Alexander Arnold. Standout performances: Aaron Taylor Johnson is an actor who has formed relationships with certain directors, working with them over multiple movies. Matthew Vaughn with 2010's Kick-Ass, one of his early breakouts, and 2021's The Kingsman, an underwhelming prequel to Kingsman: The Secret Service and Kingsman: The Golden Circle. David Leitch with 2022's Bullet Train and 2024's The Fall Guy. Both of those movies, he gives scene-stealing turns. Fuze is Aaron Taylor Johnson's second film with director David Mackenzie, the first being 2018's Outlaw King. In Fuze, Taylor Johnson plays Major Will Tranter, who is a bit of a mystery throughout the movie. He's a complicated character who has been through it emotionally. I don't know how most people feel about Aaron Taylor Johnson as an actor. He's not a movie star, but I think he's a really solid actor. I thought he gave the best performance in Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. He's one of those actors for me that just fits perfectly with whatever movie he's in. He is going to match the tone of what that movie is going for. And yes, that should be the goal of every actor, but not every actor is able to achieve that the way that Aaron Taylor Johnson consistently does. Taylor Johnson has a big slate of movies on the way: Werewolf, his second movie with writer-director Robert Eggers, Blood on the Snow with Benedict Cumberbatch and Ben Mendelsohn, and Cry to Heaven, Taylor Johnson's second movie with writer-director Tom Ford. He's made the wise choice to pick movies based on the filmmakers that are making them. That way you end up with a good track record. Once upon a time, Theo James was the male lead of the Divergent film franchise alongside Shailene Woodley, and those films got mixed reactions and did not lead to film success for the actor. Much of his success has come on television. He was in 2 HBO shows in 2022, The Time Traveler's Wife and the second season of The White Lotus, and these shows got me interested in him as an actor because they showed his comedic sensibilities and just how good he is at playing unlikable guys. In 2024, he was in the television adaptation of Guy Ritchie's A Gentleman. He is the perfect actor to work with a director like Guy Ritchie. In Fuze, he far and away gives his best performance in a movie, playing Corrales, an agent of chaos. Theo James will next star in the movie The Bookie and the Bruiser with Vince Vaughn. Hollywood tried to turn Sam Worthington into a boring leading man in Terminator Salvation, Clash of the Titans, and its sequel Wrath of the Titans, when in reality, he works far better in character parts. He's one of the best things about Hacksaw Ridge, and in the 2 movies he's made with David Mackenzie, this and Relay, he's played a scary criminal. In the hands of some actors, it would feel like a nothing henchman, but Worthington makes the most out of it and is more than solid. The 3 actors that I've talked about in this movie, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Theo James, and Sam Worthington, have a lot in common. There's these debates about whether or not these 3 actors are leading men. I don't think they are. I think all 3 of them are great character actors. The 3 of them are just not movie stars, and I don't know if Aaron Taylor Johnson should or shouldn't be the next James Bond. I don't know if that would be a good career choice. I think it would be, because it would be directed by Denis Villeneuve, but I don't see anything wrong with the career that Aaron Taylor Johnson currently has. I don't think he should be seeking movie stardom, leading man status. status. All three of these actors have been in giant studio movies, giant franchises, and none of them are going to go down as the career best work of any of these three actors. And finally, I want to talk about Gugu Mbatha-Raw, who I think should be a bigger name right now. She's great in Loki, but Marvel has taken things in a different direction and was the standout in the films Motherless Brooklyn and Misbehavior. She's not given a whole lot to do in Fuze. She's just an actress I want to be given more opportunities in movies. The filmmaker of Fuze is David Mackenzie, and the high mark for David Mackenzie is Hell or High Water. No director has ever gotten as much out of Chris Pine. With his last two movies, Relay and Fuze, Mackenzie has done two things. One, he's single-handedly keeping alive the adult thriller. Two movies that tell stories in the real world with real people. And two, he's mastered the art of the movie twist. I won't spoil the twist of this movie. All I will say is I found it to be effective and well earned. I understand why so many people have issues with twists in movies, because a lot of the time they just feel like they're there to make you feel like you're watching a smart movie, and the filmmaker is just showcasing what he's capable of doing. Like it's a showy thing in a movie to have a twist ending, right? There's a real look at me quality to a movie that has a giant twist. I don't think that's what David Mackenzie is doing with these last two movies. And I personally think we're talking about a filmmaker who should be able to continue to make movies with twist. I think we all know the director who has made the twist polarizing. That's M. Night Shyamalan. I mean, he has them in almost all of his movies after The Sixth Sense, because that is the thing that he became famous for. And yes, when there's a twist in one of his movies, it feels like he's trying to regain that success. But what I liked about Fuze specifically is I thought I knew the movie I was watching. I thought Aaron Taylor Johnson was playing the clear hero and that Theo James was the classic movie villain, but that's not the case. The movie plays with your expectations of the movie you're watching in a way that logically makes sense. It doesn't come out of nowhere and you're like, how did we get here? That's bonkers. I've seen some of the critical reaction to this movie be annoyed by the fact that there is a twist. And I get it, because we've become so annoyed with the idea of a twist. But I think you make one in 2026 because you're trying to stand out as a movie. We all know it's impossible to stand out as a movie because opening weekend, if you're not the clear number one movie in the world, nobody is going to be talking about you. And what is the everlasting legacy of a movie like this going to be unless it has something that makes it stand out against everything else? What's the hook for somebody to watch a movie like Fuze, even at home? I mean, I think that is the hook, that there's a twist, that there's something different about this movie. That is the selling point. I mean, you could have a debate about the execution of the twist and the ending itself. I wasn't annoyed by it. I think it's well earned and I think it was deserved. But I really do believe there's something to the truth about the worst thing a movie can be in 2026 is predictable. You don't want to be watching a movie going, I know exactly what this is. I know what we're doing here. Even if it is good. I mean, there were times when I was watching Fuze and I was like, what exactly is this? And I had the exact same feelings watching Relay, David Mackenzie's last movie. I was like, this is a good movie. I like the performances. I like the actors. But what exactly am I doing here if I'm just watching a movie that feels like a million movies I've seen before? And thankfully, there was a twist in Relay that made that movie worth talking about and worth thinking about. And I feel the exact same way about Fuze. The twist added to the experience of watching the movie and maybe most importantly, forced you to have strong feelings about it. Far too many movies nowadays play it safe because they all know that we all have a history of watching movies. So I do think it's easy to make something that's watchable. And yes, Fuze is very watchable. But if it weren't for the twist, which I won't spoil, this would be just another movie. Tell me if you've heard this one before, that after you watch a movie with a twist, you'll never want to watch it again because that movie now becomes predictable once you know the twist. I don't feel that way. I want to watch the movie again and see if it adds something to the experience knowing how it's going to end. I now want to go back and rewatch Fuze. I even want to go back and rewatch his last movie, Relay. Also, once you know the twist in a movie, it has you rethinking some of the performances. I mean, famously, people were questioning what Mark Ruffalo was doing in Martin Scorsese's Shutter Island until they knew the twist. And now that's thought of as a brilliant performance. I definitely want to do that with Fuze and think about whether or not I will feel differently about what Aaron Taylor Johnson and Theo James are doing in this movie. Overall, I really do like the movie Fuze, and I wish there were more movies like this. Like, this is the type of movies I want from directors like David Mackenzie, and I want Aaron Taylor Johnson and Theo James to be making thrillers. I think that is a great genre for actors and for movies specifically, because it's a genre that can really deliver when it's done right. I mean, you get everything you want out of a movie. You can get plot, you can get characters, you can get people in real places dealing with real world themes, and you get movies that treat audiences like they're smart. I mean, this is a movie that treats the audience like it can handle what's going on in this movie. It doesn't spoon feed you the plot. I don't think this is an insane opinion, but I would much rather Aaron Taylor Johnson in a movie like Fuze than a CGI-filled Kraven the Hunter. Like, I think one movie knows what it's doing and it's competent, and the other movie is just trying to please everybody, and by doing so, isn't pleasing anyone. But not that many people have seen the movie Fuze, and it's not like the performances are getting a large reception. This is what leads actors like Aaron Taylor Johnson to wanting to be the next James Bond, because you're not going to get a whole lot of credit for being good in this movie. Not that many people are going to watch Theo James give his best performance to date in a movie in Fuze. And people will say stuff because the movie doesn't feel like an event. I mean, how many of these big studio movies actually feel like an event that everybody's hyped up for? I mean, what movies are we going to get left with if we only watch movies that are events in movie theaters? I mean, I don't really care if Fuze was a streaming service only movie or was a movie released in theaters. I just think the conversations about these kinds of movies need to be louder, because it's imperative that these kinds of movies exist. I don't just want the popcorn movies. I want actors like Theo James to be given opportunities in movies like this, because they get to play with their range. They get to develop their skill sets. I also believe giving good performances in smaller movies end up leading to getting the bigger roles. I mean, Robert Pattinson was the king of the indies, and now he's Batman. That kind of success can lead to the bigger movies. But what ends up happening when the middle movie no longer exists? And it feels like that's possible where we're headed. I mean, how many more Fuzes are we going to get out of David Mackenzie or Relay? I mean, he's made 2 movies in a row that I think are really good, that are worth seeing. I don't know how many people have seen these movies outside of movie critics. Audiences are not watching these films at the rate that one would hope. So what does that mean for them moving forward? Like, I think he's a director on fire, yet he's made 2 movies that most people have never heard of. I mean, this isn't him coming off of Hell or High Water. Hell or High Water was a movie that did well at the box office and got rewards recognition. Jeff Bridges was nominated for an Oscar. The film was nominated for Best Picture and Best Screenplay. I mean, that was a movie that got recognition. I mean, what happens to the middle movie if it doesn't make any money at the box office and it doesn't get any credit critically? Where does a movie like this exist? I think it's important that it does exist because it's not going after those things. I mean, I don't think this was a movie that was meant to be a hit, nor a movie that was meant to make an Oscar. It's just a really entertaining movie, and movies like Fuze should always exist. The last two films from David Mackenzie have made a combined $8 million at the box office. I think this is a director who's worthy of praise, who's doing some of his best work, who's getting great performances. Like Theo James, I thought, is brilliant in Fuze, and Lily James was great in Relay alongside Riz Ahmed. And I have to keep shouting out the work of Sam Worthington in both of those movies as well. I mean, this was an actor who I thought very little of until I saw him in Hacksaw Ridge. My point is, more people should watch the movie Fuze. And after that, you should definitely watch Relay. These are both really good, really well-made films. I do want to end the podcast talking about twist, because I think the danger of making a movie that has a twist is this: whether or not you like or enjoy this movie will come down to how you feel about that one element of the movie. It's why people who like Fight Club like Fight Club. You buy that twist. If you don't, the movie fails miserably. I mean, everything else in the movie could work for you until that moment you realize what the twist is. And if that doesn't work, you're not going to look back positively towards the movie you just saw, no matter how good you thought everything else was. If that twist isn't effective for you, neither is the movie as a whole. I mean, you hear so many people talk about that way when talking about M. Night Shyamalan movies. They love The Village until that twist. They love Signs until that twist. A twist can make or break a movie, and in my case, I think it makes Fuze what it is. But if you don't agree with that, you're not going to like the movie. That's the problem with relying on a twist. The entire movie comes down to it in both good and bad. Sometimes I can personally get angry about a twist because it feels like a cheat code at times for the director. Here's something that I'm going to add on to make you feel completely differently towards the movie you're watching. Like, that's the problem. What if you like the movie you're watching and the twist is terrible? Or how about this scenario that we've all been in? We've all watched a movie where we all know there is a twist and we're just wondering what it's going to be. And the one we're anticipating is way better than the one we're actually given. I mean, the perfect example of this is Olivia Wilde's Don't Worry, Darling. I mean, that movie is building up to something, and you really hope she's going to knock that twist out of the park. Yet, that ends up being one of the worst movie twists of all time, and it completely ruins the movie. I can have positive feelings towards the work that Florence Pugh and Chris Pine specifically are doing in that movie. Yet, that twist left a bad taste in my mouth, and overall, I have bad feelings towards that movie. Thankfully, I walked into Fuze not knowing if there was a twist. I just felt like I was watching a movie I had seen before. I enjoyed that movie. I enjoyed what Aaron Taylor Johnson was doing, and I enjoyed what Theo James was doing. But then the twist, to me anyways, really added something to the movie and made it worth something worthy of talking about on a podcast. I have real feelings towards this movie because of the twist. Without it, this would be just another thriller. Not everyone's going to agree with that, but that is where I stand with the movie Fuze, a movie that I give credit towards having a really good twist. One that I really hope is additive towards rewatches. I don't want this to be one of those movies that has a good twist that you can't rewatch. I really do hope that this is a movie I go back to from time to time. And I really do think I will, mostly because of the stellar work done by Theo James. He just proved he knows how to play a mysterious character really well in this movie. Him and David Mackenzie need to make another movie together ASAP. Thanks for listening to this edition of Pop Culture Spotlight. I'm Cameron McKinney, and there'll be a new episode of the podcast every Thursday on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I highly recommend you check out Fuze. Next week on the podcast, I'm talking about the film Pressure, starring Andrew Scott, Brendan Fraser, Kerry Condon, Chris Messina, and Damian Lewis. So tune in to that, and please rate, review, and subscribe.